brought the truck up here, or not the truck, the tractor. We're gonna sit in the tractor today while I tell you about our house. Here's our logs, buried in snow. As you can see, there's no peeling logs today. Stand here for a sec. Spin you around. I actually have really loved this winter. I think it's beautiful. Some of you might think I'm crazy, but I love the snow. Super fun. Hey, welcome to Matthew House. We are out at our house site again. It is snowing. We're sitting on the bed of the tractor, and obviously no peeling logs today or anything else. We can't get out to the pine stand to cut logs, cut trees down and drag them in. I think we've probably had, what, like 12, 14 inches of snow, something like that in the last couple days. But we thought it would be a good opportunity just to tell you a little bit about just our dream, our vision of Matthew House and how that all came about. We served, or Billy served, for 20 years in the Air Force. So for the last 20 years, we've been moving all over the world. We've lived in Mississippi, New Mexico, Germany, South Dakota, Guam, Montana, Sicily, California, and now finally we're moved back to my home here in Minnesota. And this is where I grew up. Spent the first 18 years of my life here, but Billy actually grew up as a missionary kid and has never lived for more than 4 years in any place. He grew up in Jordan and Lebanon. And okay, where to start? So as a missionary kid, you know, he's knows what the life of a missionary looks like. And I think I mentioned in one of our videos, if you go back and watch, if you haven't seen them, is that our vision for Matthew House is that we want to have our home open to missionaries and full-time ministry workers who just need a break or need some time for transition where they're not like pressured to make all kinds of big decisions really, really quickly, and just a place to rest. And so in the book of Matthew, one of our family verses over these years has been, love the Lord your God with all your heart and love your neighbor as yourself. And the priority there is to love God first. So that should be the motivating factor in everything that we do. But the second one is to love people. And if we're really truly loving God, then we will love people also. And as a family, one of our biggest gifts is hospitality. And we just really are excited to build our home. That's the first step. But we will always have open doors to our home. But then also eventually build a guest house for both short-term and long-term visits. Like, missionaries could spend several months there while they try to figure out the details of living back in the U.S. and or pastors could just come and have a long weekend with their family where they don't have to worry about just meeting everyone's expectations and taking on the burden of their job, and be able to reconnect and spend time with the Lord and pray and find some quiet rest.
Yeah, so part of the thought is, so we're living, we will be living, or we are currently living on Heather's farm where she grew up. And it is a beautiful piece of property where we have pasture and we have woods. We're only 7 miles as a crow flies to the Mississippi River. And as Heather was sharing, we want to provide a place for missionaries or people who serve in ministry to have a place of refuge, a place of rest, and we want to give them opportunities to do that. And maybe that opportunity means just sitting in a warm house, comfy cabin where they can just read next to a fire. Or maybe that means they can come out, and Heather hopes to have bees and goats at one point. They can come help us with the bees and goats. Or maybe that means hiking through the woods. Or one of the things we want to do on our property is put in a couple disc golf courses, a 9-hole and maybe an 18 or maybe 2 18s. Like, I wasn't a missionary. My parents were. And I wasn't a pastor. My dad was. But I know the demands of that. I know that when we came home on furlough, my dad would be gone for the whole summer touring, you know, that was hard. And so we just wanted to, we want our dream, or what we feel God has put on our heart is to provide a place for people in ministry to do that. And so that's what Matthew House is about. Really what it comes down to, like Heather said, it comes down to loving God and loving people. And that's what we Kurds how we try to live our lives. There's a third part of that, and that's making disciples. And we try to do that as well.
So Billy cut this tree down the other day because it's just I guess people here kind of refer to them as junk trees. It's a box elder. And our shed is going to be kind of in this area, so he didn't want it to end up falling on our shed sometime when a storm sweeps through. But we're going to use some of the wood from it just to stack the logs on. One thing that you always want to do is stack your logs up on top of like some sacrificial logs or something like that, so just to keep them off the ground so that air can flow underneath them. So I think we'll probably use the longer logs from this tree for that purpose. But he's got a chain wrapped around it and he just pulls it out. It's so easy with that big tractor.
That's Gogu. He came from Guam. He's been with us all over the world. He's going to join us on this journey. He's getting old though. So, anyways, that's Kobu. So, let me see if I can get this camera doohickey to work. Anyways, that's what Matthew House is about. A lot of you who watch this stuff, this camera's cockeyed. There we go. A lot of you folks who are watching this may know our family, may know our story, may know a little bit about us, but some of you may not. And if you want to know more about us, just hit us up, leave a comment, in the videos, and we'd love to reach out to you and share a little bit more about our story, a little bit more about who we are, and a little bit more about this, what we feel God has called us to do. And yeah, I guess that's about it. Did you want to put in your shameless YouTube plug?
Hey, like us and subscribe. That way,
more people can join this journey with us.
More people can follow us. All right. Ciao. Ciao.
Have fun.
restoration eventually, but I don't know when or how. That would be a big project.
That's a pile of wood over there burning, wood burning stove. We just drove by. Those logs over there, Heather's dad bought last summer, and we've been milling them, or actually I guess it was 2 summers ago. So we've been milling a lot of wood, and that's what's
So if you need some wood,
left.
if you want to make a pretty table or a coffee table or end tables or a shelf or a mantle or anything like that, we can hook you up.
We got walnut, black walnut, we got bur oak, ash, maple. You can customize it how you want it, or you can take a look at what we got. We got an assortment of stuff.